So I'm in the park in Chelmsford, Central Park. I think I might have gone a bit further than that, but we're underneath the trees and the walk along the side of the river. I did say in a previous video what the name of the river is. Not too certain I can remember. Something like River Nan or something like that. But first of all, thank you for liking, sharing, ringing the bell, watching. Thank you very much indeed. And the big appreciation goes to those who have in fact subscribed. You're making an old gentleman, well, cancel the gentleman, you're making an old man very happy. And if you haven't subscribed, and you do, thank you so much, really is appreciated. So we're walking beside this river. You can't see it very easily because of all the stingers and these awful hogweed, giant hogweed, that are really, really bad to get on you. So whatever you do, don't go near them. I can hear a canoe going by on the river. Can you hear the squash, squash, squash? Yeah. Now this brings back memories from many years ago. Is it Mallow? You may know, I don't. Let's focus it, because this is a Huawei. You have to touch it to focus it. It can't be bothered to do it on its own. And I remember having that on a wildflower cigarette card. Used to get cards, little cards in cigarettes, and you could, and I've still got them somewhere in a loft, in a tin, out of the way. So, and this is that giant hogweed I was telling you about. Look, do not touch this, whatever you do. Look, I don't know if you can see the stem, but on the stem there are tiny little hairs, and the hairs, you end up with blains if you touch them. You could end up in hospital, and a lot of people do. So do not touch those, whatever you do. I think a lot of people don't realise until their children or animals are injured. They don't realise what's about in our environment. These things have escaped. There's loads of them. Look over here. The ones with the white flowers, the tall ones, they're everywhere. But they're really bad news for the countryside. How you'd eradicate them, unless you had some DNA solution, I do not know. Then you see, I can see a little flutterby thing over there. Black wings. Not a dragonfly, but one that puts its wings together. Dragonflies don't, do they? I can't think what they're called, but lovely walk here. It's quite a hot day, but underneath these trees it is well cool. We've had a lovely day with our friends and their children, and our friend was up on the hoop doing some aerial dance, I think they call it, in the hoop, which was very, very good. There's people on the other bank. Yeah, I could be walking up on the path there, but that's a bit boring. This is nicer under here. And we're walking back towards where the railway bridge is. My wife said she wanted to go to the market because it's a Saturday, it will close early. So she wanted to go and look at the market in Chelmsford, UK. And she's popped off there now. And we both checked, our phones were turned on. And then we parted, and she's gone there, and I'm wandering about here by this lovely river. Look, there's the river, your first shot of the river. Well, on this particular video. Yeah, there it is. Lots of these willow trees. Willow, willow, willow. Massive great trees hanging over the path. Look, gives a rather nice effect. Oh, I can see some lilies over there. Somebody's saying no, either to a child or a dog. Who knows? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, it's a child. being told off on a bike doing what they shouldn't. But I've just seen a couple of lads weaving. There's lots and lots of people on that path, and there's been two lads going past 20 miles an hour weaving in amongst the people. You only want a babe to drop something out the pram and the mother goes down to pick it up and there's an impact. And I just think to myself, how unnecessary is that? But there's no legislation. Lovely view of the river there. Yeah, there's no legislation about it. That's Great Britain. That's England for you. And then of course the bit I didn't get, when I had to do my exam test, call it what you will, for my drone flying, I found out that the operator is not the one who's operating it. There we are. This is the government for you. The operator is not the one who operates. Everywhere else, the operator is the one who's operating. If you get a machine operator, well, that's the one who's operating the machine, not the one who owns the machine. But now they've changed the definition of the word operator. Well, they haven't changed it, they just misused it. So the operator is the one who owns it. So if a parent buys it for a 16-year-old child and they are the flyer, so there's now two. You've got the operator and the flyer. The operator is the one who owns it, so that would be the mother or father who purchased it. They're the owner. And now the flyer doesn't need any certification, no qualifications, doesn't need to know the rules, legally speaking. But the operator, who may never fly it, has to know the rules. So I think that's fabulous, isn't it? Don't you just think? You'd have to be in government to be that stupid. And I'm seeing some fabulous political cartoons now. They hand them on a plate, don't they? These nutters who are politicians, no particular persuasion, they hand it to you on a plate. So cartoonists must be stuck for choice. They wouldn't know where to start. But there we are. That's how it is. So we mustn't worry about it, must we? Somebody fishing there? The river Can, that's what it is. I knew that. I'd forgotten it. There's the river. Burdock. Big houses over there. Probably flats. Or as my wife prefers to call them, apartments. Appartements. I call them flats. They're flats, aren't they? Of course they're flats. Yeah, so as I said, we've had a lovely day with our friends. She did very well up on the high wire. Well, not high wire, she did very well on the hoop, that's it. I was hoping she was going to do well. Shut up, Dave, it's not funny. It's pathetic. So here we go. Grass all nicely cut, some areas left for the wildlife to pick the seeds. Goes another train over the Baruka. There it goes. And down here we're coming to the rose gardens. Wow, that's a nice colour, isn't it? Do you like that? Oh, I'm hoping the Samsung 21 Plus Pro is going to be a lot better than this thing. It can't be worse, I'll tell you. It 100% can't be worse. I was such a fan of this. Can you remember back in the day where I said, oh, it's this and it does that and it does the other? Suddenly you start to, when you've used it, you start to realise what the problems are. But I've gone over that enough times. I'm always amazed by that tree where it looks like sort of